At the end of this love letter from Elijah to Jezebel, I have selected a handful of poetic figs from Christ the Karimi, Garden of Allah, to give to my Hindu love lady, Yogi Guru of the thoughtful Pharaoh, in priestly clothing. I hope these sweet and ever fresh figs would change and sweeten the ontological taste of the reader. Now that we have extracted enough olive oil from moonshining Turturi temple of Seaning Zion, or the Sininin Sinai, it is better to eat atti nahi, fresh fig fruits, Asura 95. It's named after these fresh fig fruits, which means olive oil. Attini olive oil, which means fig fruit. Fig fruity, fresh fig fruits. We have in Genesis 3:7 or Numbers 13:23, that are grown by first-class mystics, Zoroastrian apostles, and Master Hakim Chokmahi, full of the wisdom instead of being heavy, and guru poets, or it also means firm or hard. Diamonds, Mohkam, or Hakim, or fixed or fixated, poets of Christ the Karimi, Logos Chokma, so that we can better digest the extract of the olive oil. And that's why in the beginning of this Atin Asura, or the Asura of the fresh figs, we have Atin wa Zaytun, or the figs and olive oil. And then again the figs and olive oil, figs would help us to digest the olive oil better. And so again, with the ultimate level of the love, I have translated these poets or these figs in a way that many of the Persian speaking scholars and experts in literature, both in religious ones and the ones that their expertise in the field of the Persian literature, have not been able to decode and translate these poems with this level of accuracy and resolution, and scriptural resolution and clarity. And I'm offering these to one of my own species, although she is worshipping the Satan, but I'm offering them to her so that she can change her mind and stop desecrating the sacred holiness of mosque, church, home of Allah, with her Hindu filth and hypocrisy and LGBT leprosy. And so again, if you are a LGBT loser, if you are a Yugi Boogie victim of the Enki and Nakim, as well as the Babun Obamai Tammuz third or the Dadichi Do, then this is the best chance for you to repent and to come back to sanity and enjoy the taste of the truth, and let go of what your mind is telling you, if it is true, if it is sweet, or it is sour. I think it is better for us to allow our hearts decide and as to what is tasteful and what is not, what is love-lightful and what is not. And again, this love letter that I'm going to finish it with these 15 poems has been aimed to bring healing into the Jezebel of the Baal that has hypocrisy and tremendous amount of audacity, that brings her wickedness into the church without being afraid of the consequences. And so if God is lovingly willing to accept her repentance and turn her accept her repentance because of the hypocrisy, then it means that or betrayal or the treachery or the fraud that she is causing upon my mother mosque church, then it shows that how much God is willing and loving to or arada rata'ing to forgive the people that have LGBT leprosy or sodomy damage, as well as Hindu plague of the Parvati, or have received the yugi yeast of the vagina of the hellhole, or vagina hellhole. It is the best time for you to let go from the Jia Mudra mark of the beast, or the Buddha Abudan that you have, or the Siddhartha psychopath. And also, if you have affiliation with or if your soul is damaged or sodomite or sadamad, you can repent. And if you want to look at someone that is at a much lower level than you in the perdition pit, you can look at me and my Emilia half, that is the Jezebel of the Fartful Pharaoh, and that would hopefully help you to have hope that your repentance will be accepted by Allah. Because again, you might be a yogi, but you've never been that much wicked to be a yogi and come to the church mosque. Or you might be a simple homosexual, but you've never been that much raped with the whoredom of the Babel pit that gets you and brainwashes you to come to the church mosque and bring with yourself your homosexual filth to the house of God. And so you are in a much better position than me and my Emilia, love lady. And again, that's a sign that you can have hope, and it is best time for you to win the last minute ticket to heaven, as we read before in Ezekiel 33 verse 11 and 12. And so I start the first fig fruit with the first poem from the Masnavi Ma'navi of Master Rumia, that has 6 books, and this is in the very first page of the first book, and it is basically the entire Masnavi is summarized in this one poem, and also it is related to Revelation 11:1. Or the pillar, or the measuring rod, or nail, or reed, or the pen, or the pipe, or the flute, or the bodily staff that I have. And it is called, hear from this witnessing nail, when he laments, when he is painfully laments from his or her long distance relationship with Creator. Here is a link about the ney. The name of this is ney, or the flute, or pen, or pipe. And again, this is in the very beginning, in the first page of Master Rumia's Masnavi Ma'navi, or the Masnavi, or the Mishnah, or the second Ma'ana meaning in Arabic, Hebrew, English language. Here I have provided different links that you can listen to this song in different styles from Master Shajaria. It is the ney, or the flute of the shepherd for the sheep. It is the ney of a lover that is getting the awe of that lover to come out and lament painfully about the pain of a long distance relationship with Creator. And so let us hear this fabulous fig before getting into it.
بشنو از نی چون حکایت می کند، از جدایی ها شکایت می کند. که از نیستان تا مرا ببریدند، در نفیرم مرد و زن نالیدند. سینه خواهم شرح از فراق،
تا بگویم
شرح
شرح درد
اشتیاق.
اشتیاق. هر کسی کو دور ماند
از
از اصل خویش
باز
باز جوید
روزگار
روزگار وصل خویش. انا لله انا الیه
من به
راجعون.
هر
و
جمعیتی
به هر
نالان
جمعیتی نالان شدم.
شدم.
جفت بدحالان و خوشحالان شدم. In Babel Pit and in the mosques and
کسی از
churches.
زن خود شد
هر
یار
کسی
من،
از زن خود یار شد یار من.
از درون من
از درون
نجست
من نجست
اسرار من.
عیسی مسیحی and Christy اسرار من. سر من از ناله من دور نیست. My secret is not away from my words. لیک چشم و گوش را آن نور نیست. But the eye and the ear doesn't have that love light to hear and cognize the need of my message. تن ز جان و جان ز تن مستور نیست. لیک کس را دید جان دستور نیست. آتش است این بانگ نای و نیست باد. هر که این آتش ندارد نیست باد. آمنا. May whoever doesn't have this fire be extinguished. آتش عشق است کاندر می فتاد. آتش عشق است کاندر می فتاد. جوشش عشق است کاندر می فتاد. نی حریف هر که از یاری برید. پرده هایش پرده های پندار را درید. همچنین زهری و تریاقی که دید. همچنین دمساز مشتاقی که دید. نی حدیث راه پرخون می کند. قصه های عشق مجنون می کند. محرم این هوش جز بیهوش نیست. مرزبان را مشتری جز گوش نیست. در غم ما روزها بیگاه شد. روزها با سوزها همراه شد. روزها گر رفت گو رو باک نیست. تو بمان ای آنکه چون تو پاک نیست. هر که جز ماهی ز آبش سیر شد. هر که بی روزیست روزش دیر شد. در نیابد حال پخته هیچ خواب. پس سخن کوتاه باید. والسلام. The raw dough paste will never cognize what the cooked one is talking about. So the word must be foreshortened. And so this nay is going to be blown with the spirit of the Yahudahi Muslims and Christians, Zoroastrians, and Sabaean, Sabaean spirits. This nay, reed, pipe, flute is saying that here from this homesick flute, witnessing word Vanda of the Isaiah 19 verse 19, of Revelation 11 verse 1 and 12, or the staff of Moses, or the staff of Solomon. Solomon's Subhan Shabach Sapastos Sabomai Sapos the Allahing staff that is budded a staff of Aaron, or a budded flute or nay that is carrying the great name of Creator, and that is Yasin Yasna Izad Yazdan Haliha Allahi Allah Allah. Here from this homesick flute, witnessing word man, read rod of Revelation 11, Solomonahi staff of Surah 34 verse 14, or Nazarati Neye, or Nai, or Neya, or flute pen, or again as we read in Isaiah 19:19, the pole, pillar. When he or she complains about the long distance relationship with beloved, a great name of Allah and his Messiah, Medina city, از جدایی ها حکایت می کند. Here from this fire-rahing flute pen nay, who is played by Tabrizi Brizahi Aria Air Fire of Saba'ian wa Subh Saba and Saba'ian, or Saba'utian Spirita, or the Ravana he Briza, or the Rochorua, and is complain and narrating about sour separation from La ilaha illallahing, love lamp or La ilaha illallahing Luch, that I tried as we read in Revelation 2 verse 17, to share it with whoever is willing to receive that fire. سینه خواهم شرح از فراغ. As my audience, listener, reader, viewer, I want a Zion sinini sine, chest, breast, or a childish chest of a mindless and childish heart, who dares to love and dream with du'ahi die chrome or sabq, a childish chest who dares to fall in love, leap, and jihadi jump, and anti-sodomy fruit, an action, an anti-yogi. امر به معروف و نهی از منکر, anti-yogi move of rejoicing good and forbidding evil, or fall in diving. I want an aching and alive chest that is torn off, nashrah like a sadrak, or open out, or ripped apart, or the sharh, and an open out chest and bosom, so that I can tell, because of the fallen parting from the remembered home. سینه خواهم شرح از فراق, and that chest and bosom is ripped apart because of being exiled into Babel and Hamuna and Zamuna and Zamana and Adama ground, or being shellacked, or radadna summa radadnahu asfal as-safilin, that we read in Asura 95, in the Asura that is related about the figs. The Asura 95 is talking about parting from remembered home. That's the home that me and my Aliya Akhiyahi brother heard, that we are invited to go back to home, while we were in the middle of the yogi and demonic Yajuj and Majuj of Ujaj, or Yahmum and Mahmum of Hammam, meaning home, so that I تا بگویم شرح درد اشتیاق, so that I may flute pipe can tell to him and her that has an open chest that is ripped apart because of long distance relationship, so that I can tell to him and her about the pain of longing, or wanting, or yearning, or desiring, or love powering, or qudrat laylatul qadring, or hoping, or will powerfully hungering and needing, or hajjing, or hajating, or ihtiyajing, or hawajing, or luzum and riqbating, or demanding, or feeling the deficiency and poverty for pilgrimage, feast, and meeting rendezvous with or to the Izzat God, the Yazdan Rahman. And so about the pain of the long-going Hajj, or the Israeli Hajj, pilgrimage to the home. It is this pain سینه خواهم مالامال درد, ای دریغا مرهمی. That's like the sky of the judgment day with a huge sun-like Messiah moon in it. 10, 20 times bigger than the scale of this, what we see as the sun, hovering sun in this physical sky. That's our hovering Ravana. If you are a Muslim and Christian, it is time for your spirit to go into the highway and solar or the masila of, or the sail canal or the flood canal of your sperm spirit that is exiled into the Adama, Hamuna, human form. You are not human. You must go back and end your aching by attacking to Israel and dying like a martyr. This is the highway of Isaiah 90:23, that this day, inshallah, will open it upon my desk. This is the Masila. This is the Sail Masila of this is the Sail Masila of Sail. This is the Sail. This chest is fulfilled with the pain. Ey Dariqa. Oh, give me a healing balm or something, or a charming Karim Chrome cream to place on this wound, on this slash. This chest is full of the pain. This chest is full of the loneliness. Oh Allah, oh the only lonely one. Look at this lonely chest and place a charming Karim Karam Karamati, a generous grace upon this chest, this sine, this Sinai sine.
چشم آسایش که دارد از سپهر تیز را
Which eye has a cessation from tearing when it is under the arrow of archer of love that has aimed and targeted the heart of that crying eye. Give me a short time for respite. And so this is the pain, and the hearts that are in the pain, like a pomegranate juice, inshallah soon will be butchered and martyred by the global consensus of the Buddha Abudani beast, or the evil of fool Aphalion, god of the people who are fallen into the whole rabbit hole of the Alice in Wonderland. And so that I, nay, can tell to him about the pain of the longing, or the hajjing, or hawjating, and the need, and the desire, and the yearning for rendezvous. It is this painful pain of crying childs that get the moksha monks and the awakened adults and the sobered egos, which walk on needless and fire and crunch numbers, to desire or ethos or accept or enosh or dharma or hold or stick to and for nothing, no one, no God, no love, no dream. This pain is the travailing birth pains of prodigal son. This is the travailing birth pains that we read about it in Micah 4:10. Be in pain. Stay to become purified in that pain. That pain will increases the level of your purity. It refines you. Go and buy garments that are purified in the fire of the pain of beloved, who was fallen and radadnad, as we read in Surah 95, or shallaked, like the Hiram that was shallaked out while he was working from outside with Salamona, who was inside the lamp, in tandem working, who was fallen to Sodom and Egypt Babel pit, this Adama, this human Hamuna, which means desert, ground. Adam, we are not Adams, we are not Hamun humans, we are angels, we are Asuras, we are Sabaean spirits having a momentary experience in Adama. Don't dharma stick Enosh knows to that Adama, but try to go back with the remembrance. Don't become a whore during your long distance relationship with God. Don't go and find the genie dildo and get it penetrate you, or like we read in Genesis 6. Don't whore around in the heaven of the Hindu Hellions. Be in the pain and fast. Stay in the long distance relationship and keep wanting, desiring, yearning, hoping for rendezvous with the beloved, who was fallen to Sodom and Egypt, Babel pit, or the Shafali lowest of the low of 95.5, and is getting her Sabaean sperm spirit to ejaculate Jehun up or back as it was ejaculated down. Now it is time to ejaculate up. Again, that highway is bidirectional. Back like pomegranate martyr juice to Jehuni upstream, who cascades down from Isahi Mumbuk face rock boulder Barzakh barrier boulder. This holy pain, this purifying pain, is the Hezbollahi bride's yearning, wanting, need for her Hosannahi husbanda, or Christ's sereshed essence. It is this paradisiac pain of Micah 4:10 that gets the Palestinian pilgrims to do what? The great march of return, that is getting them to go back to that Medina home that I'm homesick for it. Although they are marching toward the Jerusalem, but this marching is getting them to go to the real Jerusalem. That's the reward of having this pain at the heart. هر کسی کو دور ماند از اصل خیش, whoever is homesick and Christ crazy and do drunky dreamer. This is for 2016 from my YouTube channel. That this necklace is from my brother Aliya Akhiya. And this Bible is from my love lady Emily. من مست تو دیوانه ما را که برد خانه. من مست تو دیوانه ما را که برد خانه. ای چند تو را گفتم کم خورد و سپیمانه. کم خورد و سپیمانه. جانا به خرابات تا لذت جام بینی. تا لذت جام بینی. جان را چه خوشی باشد بی صحبت جانانه. بی صحبت جانانه. من مست تو دیوانه ما را که برد خانه. ای چند تو را گفتم کم خورد و سپیمانه. کم خورد و سپیمانه. 3 years down the line and I'm still singing the same song. It is about going back to home or being homesick or Christ crazy and do the drunken dreamer and captive in the Babylonian exile of the Krishna clay, and has remained, whoever is homesick and has remained distant from his or her originating fountain or the burning bush بازم will seek بازجوید روزگار وصل خویش will seek the great march of return rapturing in 2019 or a Rahmanic rendezvous or return and Christian conjoinment with Christ Academy carousel countenance and the hijab book of the Creator. This martyr return to the heavenly home will be the Rozahi release of heavenly army on Egypt. This rapturing release of desert prison Euphrates that is poured down, and now it is you, and you have one droplet of that Euphrates that is fallen into Hamuna, human Adama, desert ground, or Zamuna, time space, to go back to your eternity, Edeni essence and origin that is an angel. And all you need to do for that is to find to attack to Israel of the Antichrist, the gay Israel of the scarlet sex beast that is giving the red pills to everybody instead of giving them the truth. This rapturing release of the desert prison Euphrates is called the first phase of the sail. Literally, the sail or soul are coming from this root word of asailu saba or the fasa'alta of as we looked at Surah 13 verse 17, or the Masila or the canal, conduit, channel, highway of the water flood, canal, channel, conduit, Masila, out of Isaiah 19:23 from Egypt earth. That's how, inshallah, after my death, the Euphrates will be detached and will march toward with a great march, will march toward its her return to back to the bosom, burning bush bosom, Sina, Sinai, Susani, Suzani, Sina, bosom of her Hosanna husband. سر من از ناله من دور نیست، لیک چشم و گوش را آن نور نیست. My mystic and Christ cherished Christian secret is not away from my homesick complaint. Religion reason behind my Fayarahi reading is my long distance relationship with fireful Neyestan canebrake of Zamar Mizmoring Samargedos Zomorrodze. However, deaf, dumb, and blind, Yogaded, Staugad, or the Yugid eyes that are yoked to the jinn venomous fire, narul masmum, to the soma fire, or the hallucinating, hypnotized fire of the dadichi dirt, and cannot hear it. However, deaf, dumb, blind, eye and ear of an enlightened yogi of the cursed Krishna scratch, Chief Pharaoh, or the little green man Osiris, with its phallus erected as the Washington Monument in front of the Vatican, or and Black House, doesn't have that Nazareti Noora who comes from Isahi Tanura. Nur means light, or Nar means fire, and so my secret is not away from my complaint. However, about the pain that I have. However, deaf and dumb and blind, eye and ear, that is happy, healthy, and holily and emptily is sticking or dharmaing to its vanity, and happy hippily is yogaing, cannot understand what I mean by pain, and cannot understand the reason for the complaint. However, deaf, dumb, blind, eye and ear does not have that Noora, or that breeze, fire breeze into the fire Rahi, reed, nay, or the flute, to cognize my melody, or the melody, or the zabar written music sheets, that the zamar mizmar psalm singing, zomarrods, or the zomaran men mizmar and mazamir, singing branches of the heavenly garden are singing. They are enlightened, ignited with the venomous, hypnotizing soma fire. آتش است این بانگ نایا نیست باد، هر که این آتش ندارد نیست باد. This Christian cry and Ruhi roar of this Nazareti reed, pen, nay, flute, pipe, is love fire, is Asha Ishq Atash, who comes from my mouth and consumes our enemies, as we read in Revelation 11:5. That's the fire that is coming out of my mouth and is burning my enemies with the truth. And inshallah we'll get the Jezebelian rust and the patina to be burned and cleansed, so that my enemy would become my love lady, my neighbor. This fire Rahi cry roar of Allahu Akbaring attack to Sodomite Israel of psychedelic god of Magog, whose American embassy is moved to Al-Quds, holy city, is not vain wind. This Allahu Akbaring is that is coming from the burning chests and the bosoms of my brothers and sisters by the fence in the great march of returning, that are being maimed and sniped down by the mercenary soldiers of Antichrist, that are using bunch of toys and the robots to silence them and to kill them, is not the vain wind. It is not flatulence gas. It is not a wheezing in vanity. It is the love fire that is being blown into that pen, into their pains. Master Rumia prays for La ilaha illallah in love light's sake, that may whoever does not have, as we read in 1718, Surah 2, may whoever does not have this is live charcoal fire, okay, or have not catch a fire from this furnace, oven, tanur, nur from Isahi tanur, or the furnace of the noon fire. May whoever does not have this Isa live charcoal fire would perish, would be treaded under the cornerstone, would be pulverized, inshallah, like hateful dry pots of the clay that are going to be dashed with the Ravana and Mahishasurahi Ra'dullah, or thunderbolt of Allah. And then you will understand that these innocent people that were Allahu Akbaring, their revenge belongs to Allah and His Christ Karimi iron rod, Ra'dullah, Surah 13. What we are supposed to do is using the word and walking the word, and then we can shepherd them later. But again, this prayer is, may whoever does not have this fire. And so if you don't have this Zoroastrian fire, what you remain to stick and adhere to, or dharma to, or inash nu'as, mind to it, is the jinn fire, or the of the Devi devils. And so then you are a cold-blooded reptile that does not have the fire. And that's why the prayer of the love is that may one unit of soul and one unit of body mind that is minding or even thinking or samadhi, didomai, samuding and staking to the zero, although it is one and has already betrayed, to the love that Allah is giving to that one unit, may they would be perished. May the unthankful would be perished. May the ungrateful would be perished. هر کسی این آتش ندارد نیست باد انشاءالله. نی حدیث راه پرخون می کند، قصه های عشق مجنون می کند. This 72 by 2 by 1000 Nurahing Neya is calling for rapturous road. If you are a Muslim and Christian or Yahudai brother and sister, it is time for you to revolt and go for trouble or the heavenly highway. This Naya is calling for the Bladahi word way, or the highway, or the sail souling masilahin upstream, or cross carrying tariq track that is full of blood. I think I have forgotten to place it here. Oh yeah, here it is a Bladahi wordway, or a troublesome way, or the troublesome path, and that's the path of carrying your cross. نی حدیث راه پر خود می کند، قصه های عشق مجنون می کند. نی is narrating the sacrificial stories or pathosy stories, or the fatal pathosy stories of the lovers love to beloved Allah or Holy Habiba. Habib, oh my Habibi, that everybody in love to you is against me. The world will hate you because of Christ. Because of the Christ religion of Allahi Habib. نرگسم روی تو حبیب ای همه در عشق تو با من رقیب. And قصه های عشق مجنون می کند. Now it is time for the مجنون or the lover to write a sacrificial story of love to حبیب اللهی حبیب. چون نباشد عشق را پروای او، او چو مرغی ماند بی پروای او. سوای او 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 سوای او. If love doesn't have the fiery fear of Allah, of Him Holy Self, or the fear of losing the love, or fear of the losing the love, Lord, that is another way of appreciating the beloved. And his love lightful liquor lamp of a straight love law. Then, if the love is not a wise love and doesn't have the fear of losing the Allahi love, then that LGBT love or Yugi friendly love or Hamun Zamun Dharmaing and loving and Inash Itos nuosing or ethically accepting and liking love to the retard laws of the Rudras and Harut Maruti Marutas Maruts and the junks of the marina life of in the Dead Sea. Well, my friend, that LGBT love is like a wingless chicken or baboonish bird or an aviator ape of Anu Hanuman of Vayu Void. Then that the love is like a wingless bird. Because all of the Persian and Fars flying Atif crowns and the cavalries of the higher Egypt with flying Atif crowns and Talaria sandals will be soon unfettered. Alhamdulillah, thanks to Ar-Ra'dullah that will destroy whoever doesn't have the love and are mimicking and are adhering to the mind-generated love of Buddhist baboons. May they will be all unfeathered, as well as their Hanumani Horus falcon, that or the flying orangutan, that will be archered down with the rider on the white horse with the arrow and bow that is going to take care of the Ya'juj. No matter how big is the two egotistical wings of this Ya'juj Ramarat, two egotistical wings of Saqab or the Ida Pingala legs of the Nazi eagle or the Nazi swastika or the Savaseti K60 K60 pieces at those of its cursed chimeras, they will be castrated and pineal unplugged and unfeather plugged or feather plugged or neutered by lamp lightning of the only one God that has vowed the fear of Allah. And again, in this very wine verse chapter, if we go to 13 verse 13, that is for the 13 arrows and the 13 leafy pinaka of the Shiva, then you see that Yusabbahu Christ, or the Ra'dullah, with the hymns of with hymns to Allah, and then the holy angels from fear of Allah, and from fear that Allah beloved might be annoyed with bunch of Yugi Boogie baboons of the Vanara jungle attacking to the tree of life and eating from it and living forever, or coming into the presence of the king, but again bunch of Rama Ramfan phonetic mantra in excrements and filthy yogis and boogies and drummers and these kind of anomalies, bunch of scientists and Harmagedoni Jedis and the Sodomites. Again, these are the anomalies that are the Ashab al-Fili anomalies that are not even worthy to be presented close to the salam screen of Allah, let alone going in to the salam palace. And so that's why the Ra'dullah with the holy so Amen spirit, or the rod of Allah, and the angels or the Holy Spirit from the fear of Creator, that Creator might be offended, will deter these anomaly, Gog and Magogian anomalies that are attacking to heaven. And that's why univocal with Surah 75, or the Surah Qiyamah, the Judgment Day, or Surah 1 verse 35 and 34 and 35, Master Rumia says, to this wingless bird, to the horsey falcon, fly on Hanuman, or the Beelzebubi baboon, I'm meditating Merkabas of its sodomite friendly civilization, that vow to you and vow to you. Again, that's just another human, that's and so vow to you and vow to you. And again, that's awla laka awla summa awla laka awla. And again, part of it is also related to the double vows upon me, myself too. در نیابد حال پخته هیچ خام، پس سخن کوتاه باید و سلام. Again, this first poem of the first book of the collection of Masnavi Ma'navi, the masterpiece of my master Rumia, is I think much longer, maybe like 40 lines or something like that, 80 hemistages. And so, but I just made a very short selection of some of those, and I finished working on this poem by translating this one. در نیابد حال پخته هیچ خام، پس سخن کوتاه باید و سلام. The raw dadichi dough and uncooked pastes of alpha to omega potter repeat, or the cosmos case, or the aliens, the cold-blooded reptile aliens, or the raw and uncooked dadichi of dadichi dough and its cold-blooded reptiles and its blind bats will never understand or catch or Dharma, or Intos, Inosh, Nuas, nose, mind, inhale, understand, intake, as we read in John 1:5. The Chrismat, condition, state, mood, spirit, and feverish fervor, and Allahi ardor, and purifying pain, and holy heat, and loving chesed, hasad, qayrata, the jealousy and zeal of the cooked ones, the soft breads whose pastes are cooked upon Christ the Karimi, live charcoal. So now that they cannot understand it, and they have made their asbab, or the weapons of the Durga, as the Hamans, or the hominids, or the Adamas, or the grounds, or the desert sands of the Brahma, they call it, or the Durga, that is giving them the Agni fire with their dark matter. Now let them carry on with their asbab and with their funky weapons of their Durga, Satan god. So now that they will never understand the word and whole and spirit and pain of someone that is in long distance relationship and is not whoring around, prostituting around, and is again in that pain and the ache, heartache. So word must be shortened. Wassalam. Arise, arise, of Revelation 7 and Thresh. Arise, or Qum, or Qiyam, of Revelation 7:14, 18:44, Zechariah 2:6-7, and Revelation 18:4, and arise through the highway, the heavenly highway of the martyrdom of Isaiah 19:23. Arise, Muslims and Christians, arise from Khorasan with La ilaha illallah flags of IRGC forces. Attack to the coalition of states, Israel, India, NATO, European Union, China, Xi Jinping, Putin petit toy of Antichrist. Arise, catch Israeli bullet, die, martyr mallet out, and then thresh them, and then dash them like pots, pagan pots of clay. And so word must be foreshortened. Wassalam. Peace be upon you. Arise and thresh. Evacuate the Egypt, Earth, Sodom, Hamuna, Zamuna, Adama. Leave the Adam form. Leave the Hamun human form. Arise into your angelic form, because we have a business to do with the devils that have been dharmaing to dirt. Arise and thresh, especially if you think that you are one of the 144,000, then arise and thresh, die and then thresh in a spirit the gloomy ghosts of nirvanic annihilation, the anomalies that are telling you about the big bangs and the heliocentrism and all sort of the lies that they want to. And so the core and the summary of all of the Master Rumia, you can read it in these 16 verses. That is almost all of it. That's the core of the Rora of this Nay of Revelation 11 verse 1. This is the measuring Nay, or the golden reed, and the message of the reed is not a new message. It's been always there. We all just postponed it with different excuses. Again, the track or the track or the tariqat or the tariq, as we look at it in previous sermon, Surah 86 is named after Christ for that reason. Or the track of the martyrdom and carrying the Christ is indicated clearly, conspicuously for every single one of us that want to follow our Messiah, Master Sultan, capital Imam. And so but we say no have fun, you went out, we're gonna stick to the Hamun human, or Zamun Zamin, or Zaman, or the temporal time, or the immediate. Bal yuhibbuna al-ajila, they like the immediate, and they say forget about the hereafter. Who knows what's gonna happen? No, it is not the case. The Christ is just more than willing to accept you and wash you so that you can go to the presence of Allah in your truly angelic form. And so all you need to do is to join the army of Hassan Nasrallah and Sardar Qasem Soleimani, the head of the IRGC forces, or the army of Ayatollah Khamenei, and attack the Israel. Not to China, not to the States, not to Canada. Attack to their headquarters and all of these maggots, and from the Modi and in Kashmir that is massaging and hitting the Muslims with clubs. Then you're gonna see that they're gonna put aside the club and then come and bomb you. They will send the robot army of the mankind, or the human Harmony Brahmini army against you. And so that will be the best way of arising and then threshing once you are turned into a Sabayan spirit. The core of all of these last selection of the fig fruits will be about your return, my return into fireful furnace, or Neyestan, or canebrake of Firahi reeds. This is the fire that gets that produces gold, purified gold, refined gold, bedelled, converted, divided gold from human ash, Adamai ash, lead, loser lead. It all comes with gratefulness. If you are truly grateful, if I am truly grateful for the beloved, then let's end the long distance relationship. He is just here, a close dimension to our Hamun, human, Zamun, Adamai mansion. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All hymn to Allah, creator of the higher cosmos and the lower cosmos.
یک شب
آتش در
در
نیستانی فتاد. One night a fire
یک شب
brand fall into the nave. سوختم نامی که در نامی فتاد. And the nave burned, the canebrake burned. The worldly attachments, the vain desires, dharma into dirt and vanity, to the ego, to the gentile genitalia, to the punk theories, to the guesses, to disempowering theories of the reptiles and aliens of the hellhole. As soon as Christ Karim fire flame rod, the red lightning started his moonshining or transfiguration or metamorphosis, every name, me, you, every value forefinger became the candle of his own grave. Every pipe and reed of that canebrake become the candle of his or her grave, that either it either caught the fire, and so the grave space or the dark room space of it became a light one, or it photophobia turned away from that fire, and it didn't catch any fire. And so, in other words, the flame of that Christ moonshines that Allahi fire source has given her. So the double-edged sword brings the two types of reactions. One is the hate cult of the thoughtful Pharaoh Buddha, and the other one is the loving, ihtiyajing, hajjing, fire feast for or the pilgrim food, wanting, desiring, hajat, or yearning of the pilgrims. And so we became no one can remain neutral. That's why Christ says, I came to bring the sword of truth and love. You either love it or you hate it. That's the talk, or the badal, or the division, or the conversion, or the separation, distinction. That's the talk that these anomalies hate. That's, they call it judgment. But it is Nay ba tashgo. Nay said to the live charcoal that what is this fire? What is this turmoil? This flare of the oven furnace? What's your purpose of burstahing or jihun, jaculating, or face potion fashawn, pishawn, ning fire flame? And Christ said, or Allah said from behind Christ, I didn't blaze a fire for no reason. Limaniyat ra sukhtan. And Allah said that I didn't blaze and fire flame for no reason. I fire rod for a reason. Of what is that reason? And the reason was that you had an da'vi or idda'a or the da'at or idea that was vain. You had an idea about yourself that was vain. So I blew up your marriage, I blew up your attachments, I blew up your PhD degrees, I blew up whatever you have been falsely identifying yourself to it. I blew up your heliocentric theory. I blew them up in order to burn all of the vain and the vanity that was around you, and you were wrapping it around yourself. Or in other words, I blew up the Spirit of Allah, moved upon this dark, vain, kheshek, bohu, void, empty, maya mirage, this wicked vanity, and then blew up and turned away and divided or badaled or bedeliumed or turned and changed and badaled the light, the darkness, and turned it into light, or Christianize it, or Muslimize it, or Zoroastrianize it. And again, that is the differing or differentiating, bringing talk into it. The talk means differentiation, the eloquence or separation or judgment or talking. And so Allah is saying that, like, I get my Christ Karimi spirit to hover and transfigure and moonshine upon you like a sign, like a alamat that we read here, like a موعد, signs and seasons, or the موعد. انا وعدناهم بجانب طور الأيمن, or something like that, that we made a rendezvous or appointment by the Amen Mount, or the Amen Immune Fire Mount, the only one mega mount, the Sinai sunshine, moonshining, Susaning mount of love and light, in order to put aside your void, dark and dry bohu, and the earth was not, it is not without form, it was void. Tohu bohu kheshek, khoshk, tohi bihude, vain, uselessness. And so Allah is saying that I photo flash flared to burn your uselessness, you loser, lead, you cold-blooded retard reptile. And so again, the nay is saying to the photo flashing photographer of that camera with the little lens, that what was the reason for photo flashing, and Allah said, I didn't ablaze and kindle and fire for no reason. Maniyat ra sukht, I did the fathan mubina, or the binai opening, portal periscope porching, to burn away your tohu and bohu and kheshek, dry, empty, void idea, da'wat, da'a, to burn away your identification or your expression, your way of identifying yourself with, that was false. I burned all of those ashes and turned them into gold. Yes, and so that is how the fire fall into the canebrake, and that is the fire that is getting the Rumiyah in May to write the master legacy piece of fig fruity poetry. Let's go to the next fig fruit. This one is from Master Hafiz Shiraziya, and it is one of it is also again the first lyric poem, the very first lyric poem, and one of the most famous lyric poems of Master Hafiz Shirazi, one of the first class A plus GPA students of the Christ Cup class of Allah. O Allahi tapster, O Allahi bartender, O Allahi cup Christ bearer, Pernah the Cubensis Christ cup of wine, and get us fire-fed drunk. Alhamdulillah. And so this is I have again 3 different styles of the recitation of this super famous song from Master Shajarian, Master Nazari, and also Master Fakhri. ناغ در گلها که ماند ناغ در گلها خون دل کنم رنگین ز خون دل کنم رنگین عشق دلها بندی گل افشان شراب افتاده در دلها شراب افتاده در دلها الا یا ایها الساقی ادر کأسا ولا منها الا یا ایها الساقی ادر کأسا ولا منها که عشق اول نمود آسان ولی افتاده مشکل ها که عشق اول نمود آسان ولی افتاده مشکل ها ولی افتاده مشکل ها. So you be patient, inshallah I will overcome the problems of the paste. This is a sticky paste. It is a little bit hard to take off from this egotistical gravity of the black hole of vanity. And so ألا يا أيها الساقي أدر كأسا ولا من وناولها که عشقا صد نمود اول ولی افتاد مشکل ها. This there are I think thousands of books are written to just translate this poet, this very poem, and many of them are not as accurate and certain as this translation. And so whether you are English speaking or you are Persian speaking, you are going to read a translation with entheogenic enzymes, a decoded translation of this masterpiece of Master Hafiz Shiraziya. And if you love your beloved friends, family, father, mother, you can give them this translation, because this translation is the most unique and accurate translation of this ever fresh fig fruit. Again, because my garden is a collapsed unterrealized garden that has collapsed on its foundation, and so that's why I'm using the masterpieces of the legacy gardens of شعور and شعر and مشاعر of Sirius or Najm al-Shi'ra of the consciousness, of the star of consciousness, in order to raise the quality of my garden. And so these are the most they have these poems have the richest taste that I'm using as the little scroll of Revelation 10 that is presented to you in this form. While Master Hafiza is at the Malakuti plane or the Mamari Oburi Hebrewi plane of crossing to the other side, or at the lowest part, or at the dark depths and black bottom floor of the series of the four nasal nuance skies. This is the flat plane or the flat earth, but again the problem, as I mentioned before, with the flat earth is that the people are misunderstanding that this Malakuti plane is the plane or the Katay Sijil that we read in Surah 21 or verse 104. This is the Malakuti plane or the Maqomi plane that Muhammad has been going, Moses has been going. I have been there for seeing the transfiguration once the fishermen of the Sambara caught me and brought me into that presence of the photo flashing range of the Christ flash lamp. And so they are misunderstanding that when Master Hafiza is in this plane, he is not in flesh in that plane. And so those retards comes and say that the flat earth people, they come and say that the earth is flat, but they don't understand that he is in a spirit when he is in this Malakuti plane, or he is in, what is the spirit? The Nataf. From Nataf you have the alaq leached link, and then you get to the mosaic mask mansion. Okay, and so they have a flat brain. Unfortunately, they don't understand that the flat earth doesn't work, because in the mosaic mask mansion, if everything is flat, then there have to be two-dimensional things, but they are in fact three-dimensional beings. And so Master Hafiza is in a spirit or in dark matter, dark energy, the 96% missing part of the universe. And that is the plane of the experience, Malakuti plane or the Yabasi plane or the Maqomi membrane that we read in Maqom membrane of meeting, Lemiqatana, or the rendezvous that I mentioned before, or Adama Hamunahi, ground floor of the lowest sky that is as high as the chair or the throne or the flying hovering Christ disk that is raised from the dead, from the Alpha to Omega dead, or the Felukai film surface field that is above the Alpha to Omega, dark, dry, dead, void sea. Okay, that is not the sea that you see here. And so don't talk about the flat earth in order to outshine the truths of the geocentrism that principal movie is showing. and the truth that is pointing toward it, that both of these motions are fictitious and not true. The rotation of Earth around itself is absolute lie, and also the rotation of Earth around Sun is absolute lie. And so while Master Hafiza is at Maqam Malakuti plane of the meeting or the rendezvous, or where the Wa'adnakum Lajanab Tur al-Ayman or Tur al-Iman is happening, he says to Allah at the bottom floor or the surface of the deep sea, that, "O you Yahweh, his salam sun source, who is sitting inside, behind, beyond your moonshining Christ cup countenance, Ka'as," that is the Ka'as, and then Ka'as, and then Ka'as, or the cup of the wine, and that is mentioned in Holy Quran as Ka'asan, or the transparent visage veil of Yabqa Wajh Rabbaka, or the visage, visage. Again, this is not the real visage, this is the lowercase visage. The capital visage, this one is the salam screen, this is the transparent visage veil. And once you go there, then you inside this visage, then you see the capital visage. But this wajhul yabqa wajh rabbaka means that everything will be extinguished except the visage veil of Allah. That will be at the end hovering above, and all of us, me, you, and all of us mortals will die, as well as the Shiva, as well as the Shakti, as well as the Hindu Hellions, Baha'i baboons of Buddha, all together, as well as even the Muslim and Christians. Or the pearly hijab partition, or the Qawarir, or the crystal pool, or the glass sea is another name of, while Allah is behind his glass sea, or the solar ceiling of the Tarshish tablet. That's the ceiling that is above the series of the four nasal skies. That is what we call a lapis lazuli ceiling, or the Tarshish tablet, or the bowl of light liquor. And this bowl of Ezekiel 1:28 or Exodus 24:10 is the Yesadi Kushin Istade Yesadi Savadistanai Kushin bow ark قوس of the heaven. جنات تجری من تحتها الانهار, or the burning barzakh dam, other khatam, khatamuhu muskan. That's the khatam, and that khatam means جنات تجری من تحتها, and تحتها or takhat and khatam, or the other akhar, end, or the eskatani end, yesad, vasadat, vasad, yasud, foundation, hardcover, furnace, shell, or salam sun, eclipsing arc, moon face, screen, khasaf al-qamar, or kisfan min as-sama. That's the kisfan, or the higher kashyap, kush, case, cosmos, cup, kas, case, or cave, kaf, or Ein Sof, Sod, Saf, faulty safeguarding low lamp bulb slate. And so Master Hafiza is saying that, O you Allah, O you Allah, he subject of the Isa, he object cup, as you can see here, or the visage or the partition. O you tapster, manager, Christ cup, case bearer, Allah ya ayyuha saqi, please turn off or orbit or circulate or manage or adir or adder. Adir in book of Psalms, Psalm 8 verse 1 is talking about Allah, he adir or adhering or managing. O cupbearer, manage the cup and turn it around. Your, O Allah, he cupbearer, Christ bearer, heavy cup, heavy cloud bearer, or Allah of the eternal 24 elder houri, Christ clock bearer, tapster, turna, orbit, circulate your vina full, Christ cup, case, calyx, in English, Arabic, Kush language, or the archive, Kahf, and Tanawal, or feed me. And that's what again Christ says, that feed my sheep with what you are fed. Why? Who? By the Father feed their Fatir, Surah 35, because that's the Allah that can do that. And so, O Allah, he Father, O the tapster of the cup, turn your cup and pour that cup and feed this thirsty. تناول و ناولها رزقناهم ينفقون مما رزقناهم. That's what I'm doing, giving, sharing to everybody the knowledge that I have been fed with it, and feed me the parched, dry, dead, dark, Arzul Maitata of Genesis 1-2, or the earth's loser land, ground, Adama, Yabashi, Yopsi, Yabasi, dry land, desert, Adama, Harmony, empty, ego, with a heavenly honey. This adir or adhering of Christ's cup. And so what this means, it is one of the most mystically coded ones that I'm going to make it known. What is this adhering or adhering of the Christ cup means? Okay, because it has Quranic synonyms, or this turning of, or orbiting, or circulating, or managing the Christ cup. And so what does it mean? And so that's what I'm going to clarify here, because there are many translations or interpretations that are not accurate from these translations and interpretations of this poem, and they are not accurate because they don't they have a problem with translating the adir or adhering. And so adher ka'san vanavelha basically means adir or adhering of the Christ cup, and getting the Christmas Cascading Christ Cup class to drop a katiroi or takatiri or qitrani or the ainul qitrani wine drop of charming Karim Korom Kabudi love light fire, or the heavy holy golden and gold and arafeli glory grace upon the dead dark empty bohu tohu bohu khashaki earth فأشرقت الأرض بنورها, and then the dark room became flashed, banged, وأشرقت النور بالأرض, and then the earth by the nur and or nar, or the flash flare love light of its love Lord became moonshine and lightened up by that. That's how that's the Big Bang that we have had 6 of them, and then the 7 has already happened, and now in 69 is talking about the 8th bang that is, or the 8th moonshine that is going to get the dark room to lighten up with the love light of Allah Creator. Grace Gloria upon the this adhering of Christ cup and getting the Christmas Cascading Christ cup, or the Messianic calyx to drop a katiro or refining or qatran or taqatiri wine drop into the heart of the Sufi or Dervish is also called what? Controlling. والسحاب المسخر بين السماء. That's the in this one verse it says that Allah is musakharing or driving or steering فتسير السحاب, the heavy cloud. That's the Naphtali Nephil cloud of Revelation 14 verse 14, and that's the Christ. And so that's the meaning of the adhering, that Allah is controlling that sahab or the bainus sama, and so Allah is between bain bina, the heaven and the hell is grabbing and holding and getting the Christ, the heavy cloud, to hover. That is called Sahab al-Musakhara Bainu Sama, controlling or steering, or Yuzji as-Sama, or the driving, or Yuzji, or Yuzjiing, or Yuzji al-Fork, or the vitrifying Christ, or compiling the Christ, or Sakhara lakomol folk. That's the Christ mothership, the folk, the mothership that is flying or floating, or the lowercase kursi cruise, the throne of Christ on judgment that is above the waters, or the airs, vayu voids, and that is how he is being condensed, or sakhara lakum al-folk. Or another meaning of this adhering, or the synonym of this adhering in the meaning is collecting. That is very important. And not alayna jam'ahu, that is 75:17, because the most heaviest thing is the computer, and you can see in First Kings 7, how big and huge is the biggest civil engineering or the Masonic project in the history. In the seventh day is rising of the Christ from the dead, that is mentioned in by Solomon and Hiram in Revelation in book of First Kings 7. According to the blueprints that Allah architect has given. And so one of it is collecting the temple of God. You see the lavers, you see the angels, you see the pomegranates, you see all of the stones, the precious stones. They are all accessories and sheets and attachments of our Sultan. And that's why he is the heaviest thing. And again, the 19 mega iron mounts or the iron angels of the hellfire, or the entire Vayu void, or entire 70 cubit tall angels of the Vayu void or hellfire, are all pedestaling underneath this Christ Karimi 20th mount that is being loaded, assembled upon them, and plus the what is going at the sweet water side, or all the angels, or the seven lampstands, the entire heavenly body of God, all of them are getting together. This is how we see the heavens of the dark matter, dark energy, as well as this tiny foam that we are in it as the matter and energy level, are all hanging from the Christ column, or the Ola Amadan Mumaddada, or the pillars that are the Christ, the 144 cubit tall pillar, or the axis of the creation that Allah is hanging so that the creation doesn't collapse into itself. And so that's why collecting of Christ, bringing the 12 constellations of the heavenly skies, and the 12 baqara'ing gun barrels under the molten sea all together, as well as lumping all of the 19 mega iron angels, 70 cubit tall and heavy each, as well as all the pomegranates. This is not possible by anything in creation to be done. The only one God that can do that is Allah, God of Christ, that is going to adhere or manage or turn or compile or control or compile. Anna alayna jam'ahu. It means literally, it means gathering. Let me gather and bring this, or because the computer is super heavy, super computer, and this super computer has a lot of needs a lot of power consumption, programming, mini programs, Holy Spirit level, Hell Spirit level, all of them are coming to be compiled, so that, and who is going to do that? Both left hand and right hand of Allah is needed to be gathered for the Christ, or for the Christ cup to be adhered, or to be managed, or moderated, or davard, or adared, or turned around, or managed, or the tree of life at the center, or the lighthouse at the center is Ra'dullah, is ra'ding, yusabbihu ra'd wal malaikata bihamdih. And that is how the collecting of Christ is the heaviest thing, because this collecting is kind of like the resurrecting or ba'asnahing, that right when you are in the dark matter, dark energy realm, and there is absolutely nothing in the void. As I said, it is like a door in the middle of nowhere. You open it, you are still in the nowhere, just like a frame that you can, without a wallless frame, that you open it and you are still in that same wallless, and suddenly the same door, and Allah opens that door, and then you see that very frame opens portal periscope porches to a real heavenly realm of Ar-Rahman, that will get your jaw to fall. And so that is called what? That is called othering. Or other means anna alayna jam'ahu, or gathering Christ, because again, when we are, and no, again, as I said, no, he is the sahab as-sagil, he is the heavy cow Christ clad, he is the very heavy clock. The 24 elders must become charged for each one of those big bangs, for each one of those 6 Baqarang ones, because this is what the Baqarang means. If you come to the Baqarah, here you see the Baqarang. This is the Baqarang. This is the Baqarang. And if you come to again first chapter of Holy Quran, and the second one is Baqarang. And that's what the name of the Christ, or Baqarah, or the cow, or the morning means. And so for Allah to get 1 bang, 2 bang, 3 bang, or each one of these bangs need the entire heaven and the earth to fully comply with Allah. And that is why we read in the surah that I read on the day of my last trip into Galilee garden, and sitting in the Christ class cup, that inna alayna jam'ahu wa qur'anahu, or inna alayna jam'ahu. This is the collecting, who are indeed upon us, this is Allah, that is getting the Holy Spirit, as well as the angels of the hell, in the heaven and in the hell, to collect. It is not in your heart, this is a rubbish translation. It is its collection. Who is its? It is Holy Quran. O Muhammad, hasten not the Quran. Who is the Quran? That is the rowing Christ, and he is Quraning after God does what? Qara'a. Each time Allah does one Qara'a, then then Christ Qurans, or roars. And so each one of these bangs in the middle of dark matter, dark energy, or each one of these 6 Baqars, and each one of these Baqars is happening after one time of Allah sun shining in the day, and then Christ moon shines in the hellhole. That's why it says in verse, I think 8, that we have the khasaf al-qamar, and that's how the moon doesn't darken. This is the khasaf al-qamar, or the solar lunar eclipse, and alignment of the Christ. And that's the meaning of the adding, or jama'a shams. This is the Jumu'ah, or the jama'ing, or the gathering of these two together, and that's what we call it as the Jumu'ah or jama'a. And that's how the Ravana starts to roar. فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. And when we get the again, this is not Gabriel, this is a rubbish translation. So when we get Christ to roar, or Quran, who then follow his recitation. And now after that, then summa alayna bayana. Then after that, in order to understand what Christ said, then I'm gonna send you a bunch of tutors like Gabriel to help you to understand, for the clarification, or the bayana, or the talk, for the understanding, for the binahi, understanding and explanation of the chokma that Christ has roared. I will get, Allah is telling to Muhammad that I will get Gabriel to come and tutor you and help you to understand what you've been lectured by the Logos. And so that's the meaning of what? That's the meaning of adoring. That says that, oh ya Allah, cupbearer, or the Christ bearer, carrier, because the Christ and Holy Spirit and Amen Spirit, or Ruh HaKodesh and Ruh Al-Amin Spirit, both of them are hanging from Allah. And then says that, oh Allah, cupbearer, adder, or the gather, compile, collect, control, drive, steer the cloud with the angelic wings and wings, or gather your camera and put on the lily lens on top of the camera body and shoot, and vanavelha, and feed us and give us a photo shoot flash. And so this adoring means collecting, or handling, piloting the Caucasus cloud, or the mother ship, and his mountain veil, bird, martyr, pomegranate, accessories and sheets and medallions and the weapons and the optical tools and sabai and windows, all of them together. And again, this is part of these mountain veils are in the heaven, or the Jabal of Sama, and part of them are in hellhole, or the mini mountains that are the pedestaling under the Christ. Again, here you can see Manasa, and we send down from a sky, from mountains within it. These mountains, these are the mountains that are inside, or the mega veils, or the super big waves of the sweet water ocean. And in addition to those, we have the whales of the hellhole, or the 19 mega and iron angels of the entire lower cosmos. This entire cosmos, which, or some people, some translations call it Earth, but it is in fact the cosmos, is Big Bang, is being controlled by those 19 mega mountains. And again, in addition to those, we have the pomegranates, we have the golden bells with the pomegranate juice inside it. We have a lot of feeding tables in the Raqul Manshur, or the smoking place, altar of incense, at the elder hours, the four seraphim, Israfils, again, and all of these things, all of the programs, all of the hardware, and then the softwares must be compiled by Allah, He subject, the only one subject, so that Christ can roar, and photo shooting session starts, or the class starts. And so Master Hafiza is saying to the Allah that, oh Allah, please other, oh Allah, cupbearer, Christ bearer, other and manage and steer and collect and combine your camera and feed us with one photo shoot session by mercy. And so this othering means that Calcras, or the mothership, must is going to be controlled, or the steered, or collected, or gathered by merciful means of the creator, captain, composer, photographer, cameraman. And that is how the Calcras cloud cup drop us Ruhi Reina of Rahmat upon the Tohu Bohu Kheshek, empty, vain, dry, Amir earth, or ashtray, ash, or the Alaqi Amir, or the amnesia, nasal nuance, inashi, a sky that has amnesia, or inashed to amnesia, and again that is the alaqi, or the suspended fool in there. And again, once we pass the suspension, the Master Hafiza is going to be fed, not even in the alaq level, but in the nataf state of pure mind or spirit. And so in this holy hemistasia, Master Hafiza is begging Allah to get his Calcras cup to drop a dua from dream love land into his heart picture, so that he can forget and let go of his egotistical mindfulness or individualistic advaitism. And this orangutans call it non-duality. Oh Allah, Christ, cupbearer, give me a booster from Bismillahi blada, because love seemed to be easy at first, but then problems happened. And so these peaceful problems, as I just mentioned here in this love letter, were my incompetency, in my inaptitude, my indecency, my rebellion, my doubt, my denial, that were getting my Shiva, Shova, Shiva, Suik, destructive nafs, ego. That's the nafs that we have mentioned again and again. Nafesh, nafs. This is the base life. To amorite, or the command me, my al-mutma'inna atmani, assured, certain I, or mal or ainul yaqeen, to kazzab, or takzib, fawailun yawma azan lil mukazzibin, to kazzab and deny and cover up the reina vision word, that book of life, or this adhering cloud, adhered cloud, or the steered cloud, or the wind driven cloud, has dropped into my heart. picture ray not vision word of lovely Emiliahi Mercia. That again, that's the where the mercy thanking Allah comes from Allah. تبارك الله أحسن الخالقين. Unfortunately, we are full of disease, but Allah's creation is immaculate. Awesome. As I discussed before, this destructive denial of my coward ego nafs justly caused وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ, that justly caused shar, my evil eye and my Aliya Akhiyahi brother to fall into the problem pit, which brought up or resulted in or led to amorality, introduction of the problematic parameters into my or our logos ethos etaat thing equation. And so that's how again what I was shown was what I was shown was I was shown with the eye of yaqeen or eye al-yaqeen, and that is the eye of the certainty. And with eye of certainty I saw, and then I reached to ilm al-yaqeen, or with the eye of certainty I reached to knowledge of certainty. But again, the kazaba came and curse came and denial came, and these are the problems, and that are all related to my incompetency, my inaptitude, my indecency, my hasten, my lack of patience, my shiva shivaic nafs, or the destructive shivaic ego that destroyed my equation, and I couldn't get it to convert, because when this equation or this simulation that I was trying to get it to make sense and logical sense needs pure knowledge of certainty, and that is belief. And so I started doubting again. As soon as I saw the plagues of the Jezebel, I cowardly pulled back, but I didn't know that I am given the curing for her and for myself and for my Aliya Akhiyahi brother. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu alayh. Cover it off, Ya Allah. The most evil of these problematic and fatal pathological parameters was doubtful uncertainty, or again, that's the enemy of the yaqeen, or certainty, or the enemy of the, and for that I was doubting the knowledge and the vision that I was shown. And that is exactly what we are going to see, all of us. That was trying to destroy the deterministic or the yaqeen, or the qaza cause, qaza, the deterministic cause, qaza predestination, prescribed predestination of our al-qadr Keteri Christ crowns. mine and my Aliyahi brother. Basically, we were, and again, and so this problem, the most evil problem that it caused was destroying the determinism or the deterministic predestination of Laylatul Qadr, or the night of the free will power that was giving us Qawwat or Qawai, free will power. And so once the cause of the free will power, which is Allah's predestination or certainty, is attacked, then al-mutma'in or atman, or the assured core, is compromised and jeopardized, then it will not give healthy fruits. That's why my garden fall down, and my equation or my witness by November 2017 I couldn't even get it to go anywhere until I did the istikhara, and then I said that nope, Jezebel is welded to me, I am welded to the Jezebel, and God is not kidding with anyone. Qawwat or the qawati, free will powers, or the miqwa, aqawataha, muqawwi, or the hopi kiviti, that's the kiviti, or the kiviti, and that's the aqawataha that we read again Genesis 1:10. It is talking about the kiviti. There is a little bit of low quality translation that we have. It is not the gathering, it is not the gathering. God called the Yabeshi as the heirs, the Yabesh land is as the heirs, and again this is in the dark matter, dark energy realm. It is not the heirs that we see, it is not the surface heirs of the mosaic mask mansion, it is the heirs of the Nataf or the Qarar Makin of Surah 23 verse 12, the firm fixed lodging of the Natafs, and that is the dry, this is the flat, some people call it a flat land, a flat earth, but they don't know that this dry earth is not this one, three-dimensional one that is not flat, you retards. This is the earth of the Nataf realm or the spirit realm, and the gathering together here is the miqwa, that I forgot to comment on it when we were reading the Surah 41 verse 11, that we have it also here, Surah 41 verse 11. It's talking about the same Surah 41, sorry, verse 10, and Genesis 1:10. That's the qavati, or the gathering of. This is not gathering, this is miqwa, that is coming from the root word of qawa or qawwat, or hope, or qavam, and that's means the hope, plenty, strength, gathering, confidence. That's the qawwat that is coming, or abiding, gathering, being compiled. And so and it is not the miqwa of the waters of the Maya Mayims, this is the yam, and so this is the sustenance of the hellfire, or the power, the miqwa power, the will powers, the qawwats, or the qut of the hellfire. If I come here to and go to 41:10, then you see that this is
أقوى
in this aqwataha. This aqwataha is the miqwa or the qawwat or the qawa or the qut, and that is the willpower. And again, we have two types of the gathering, but again, two types of the confidence, two type of collecting, looking, waiting, expectation. And those two types, one of those is the expecting zero or collecting zero, and the other one is collecting one. And in other words, one of them is Soma Anch, Kant cult of the Dishitian, and the other one is the Manna, favor of Allah. And that's the two types of the sustenance or quvvat or qadar or qudrat in it. That's the kind of like the creatures, but again, this is miqwa, and Allah called the earth, the yabesh, the dry surface, as earth, and gathering or the will powers of the seas or the deep earth or the vayu void, as Allah called that as yam. And so what is yam? The yam is the power plants, and that is giving mind power, dark matter, dark energy. That is the qawwat, and the power giving, strength giving, confidence giving, waters or energy giving, waters or the maya mirage, the mirage that is giving strength and mind power. Allah called it the Dead Sea, and Allah said that it was good. And then from Dead Sea, Allah again, as we read before, again and again divided the waters from the water, or the air from the air, or the flatulence fart from udekolon, Christian udekolon. And that is Allah made what? Made badaled or separated the hatred from love. And that is what we have as the belqovat, or the potentials, or the imkaniyat, or the mights, or the qaddara fiha aqwataha, or the mind powers. And so once this deterministic cause, or the qaza, or the certainty, or the predestination that Allah has given is jeopardized by the kazab, by the destructive incompetency of mind, or by the kafar cover offing, all of these things, denial, and all of these fields that are all can be categorized in one thing, and that is uncertainty. Then the qawwat, or the qadar, or the qudrat, or the power, or the confidence, or the will go away, and then you cannot bear fruit as a fig tree. And so those are again what they are, the mushkils, or the troubles, or the eshkoli mushkil. Mushkil is coming from the root word of the river of Eshkol that we read before, the river of the eskam, the river of the foam, the river of the Zen, assumptions, guessing, and all of those secondary thoughts, thinking, are all Shivai, and they are destructive.